G'day everyone, welcome back to Falling Beyond. I'm here at Marist today in the lovely oratory, good view out there. And today I'm going to talk a bit more about virtue, about what is the point of virtue. Now, as we've mentioned before, all the virtues help us to do what is good and to keep choosing what is good in our lives over and over again. Now, a lot of virtues are kind of like this. So there's something that we have to continually work on throughout our lives, and we can never really say that we've made it, that we've become perfect, become totally virtuous. The one who did do that perfectly, of course, was Jesus, being God. And the more we grow in virtue, the more we do become like Jesus. Now, in really loving others, what we do is we seek their good rather than our own. And so we don't just try to be virtuous to help ourselves, it's to help others. So we're all about service here at Marist, as you may have noticed. Often we can help others greatly by living our virtues in our own lives, and we can all think of people who've had a huge impact on our lives by being virtuous. We can also be that person for other people.
So just to get an idea of what virtue looks like, I've asked a few people who you might recognise from around the college who examples of virtue in their life are.
Well, I've been really blessed because I've encountered and known and loved a lot of people with a great deal of virtue. But I'd like to focus particularly just because we're at Marist, Canberra, I'd like to talk about a teacher I had it's getting towards almost 50 years ago, but it's well over 40 years since I was taught by a brother Anthony. And his virtue was this completely selfless love of working for us. That's the virtue I remember. So he taught during the day. He was a very enthusiastic maths and RE teacher. So he taught lots of classes. And then, of course, being boarders, he had to supervise us. And then he also coached sport. He took, first of all, took cricket teams, then he took rowing crews, then he took rugby teams. But the virtue was, he was just there step by step. He was just watching these young boys, and there were a lot of us, and we came from a lot of different places. And just step by step, he guided us.
Someone in my life who's an example of virtue is a really good friend of mine. His name's Tim. I've seen him be really strong, especially for his family, but also for his friends. And I've also seen him be really temperate. So he knows when to stop, but he knows when to have fun and when to have a laugh as well.
So Lisa, who in your life has been an example of virtue?
For me, the person who has displayed the qualities of being virtuous is my dad. You know, I think my dad has always been faith-filled. He's very honest with the way he approaches things. I've never seen my dad lose his temper. I've seen him really hurt, but never loss of temper. So he's always in control. He's been incredibly patient with me, but above all that, he shows love.
Who is someone in your life who's been an example of virtue?
Well, so I'm going to break the question and mention two people. So the first is a brother that I knew, Brother Vincent. He was just a very humble man. Now, he was a capable man. He had achieved things in his life. He'd led schools. And the other is my father. So for a very similar reason, actually. So humility again. Just a quiet personality. Someone who was just very balanced, very stable, highly supportive, and essentially lived his life for others, for his family primarily, but for others.
The challenge for this week is to tell someone in your life what you appreciate about them and the virtue that you see in them. Have a good one.